Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube.com. It is Good MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio, Dee Woodson, and Michael Bullock. The whole crew is here, and guys, we are just going to dive right in. Smackdown Live, the penultimate before SummerSlam. It was live from Memphis, Tennessee at the FedEx Forum tonight, and we started it off with Kevin Owens basically cutting a promo. Uh, Shane McMahon actually did have a little bit of a retort, but it was kind of more on a video screen. I guess he was kind of doing some kind of, I guess, on an airplane or something like that. Fine, whatever. But the next thing we know, we did have Drew McIntyre show up, and it actually led to a 2-for-1 because the next thing we did have was a match. Kevin Owens versus Drew McIntyre. Owens wins the match. 13 minutes, 14 seconds. Second best fight of the night. This was an incredible match. Great way to start the show. I thought the promo was solid, good for what it was worth. But the match itself, holy cow, what a match this was. I really enjoyed this. Really nothing more to say. Anthony Florio is all yours, my friend. What a way to start off SmackDown Live. Decent segment, but then we had a damn near fight of the night to kick it off.
I can make the argument that it was the fight of the night, MF, honestly. Especially, Bullock and I, because we had our SmackDown chat this evening. So, anyways, I'll just sum it up by saying this. That was about as entertaining a first 30 minutes of SmackDown Live could have been. Shane O'Mac announcing he was not going to be on the show, a very welcome positive. Kevin Owens' brief but impassioned promo set the tone early, and Drew McIntyre presented himself as the intimidating counter-presence. The match was exciting, entertaining, and hard-hitting. You could make an argument that it was a man fight, for goodness sakes, particularly the last 5 to 7 minutes of the bout. While I'm not a huge proponent of Drew McIntyre losing cleanly quite as much as he does, this was, however, a huge, clean win for Kevin Owens and something his brand new babyface character can greatly benefit from. So the segment, I agree, was solid. The match, I can make an argument for fight of the night on this. 3.5. I think 3 to 3.5 is the appropriate rating. Maybe more 3.5. I would have to say. So nothing more to say. Let's bring in Michael Bullock. We had our SmackDown chat, and Bullock, boy, howdy, we had fun with this match.
Oh yeah, we definitely had a lot of fun with this match. The promo I thought was decent. It was basically, Kevin Owens taking a shot at Shane McMahon. Of course, like you said, Shane McMahon said he wasn't going to be on the show tonight. Thank goodness for that. And then Drew McIntyre basically coming out and saying, you know what, Kevin, you're not going to put down Shane McMahon, and basically said, you know what he forgot to mention in that video was that you have a match with me. And yeah, the match was definitely one of the fights of the night. You could make a case for the fight of the night. 3 to 3.5 is my rating as well. I know some people are not fans of Drew McIntyre losing cleanly, but I'm actually fine with it because obviously you want to give Kevin Owens some momentum going into his match with Shane McMahon and to make his babyface character look even more good than it already is. So yeah, I really got nothing more to say. 3 to 3.5. Definitely one of the fights tonight, if not the fight of the night. Yeah, Dee Woodson, I give it to you. The first 30 minutes of this SmackDown Live was really good.
Yeah, it was really good. The segment was, very informative. It was very storyline driven. Continue that feud that we have with Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon, and even the little promo vignette or whatever you want to call it of Shane in his white room, wherever that is, with his life coach or whatever he was talking about. I mean, that was very storyline driven, and very welcome change to have Shane not there. I know there's a lot of people who posted on Twitter that they're getting sick and tired of even seeing McIntyre. So yeah, this is definitely a good way to start off SmackDown. Good 30-minute opening for the show. The match, 3.5 stars. Very good competitive match to open the show. So I have nothing negative to say about it. So Fletch, let's move on.
Then after a few segments that we could just blow right by, we did have the second fight of the night, which was Ember Moon and Bayley going up against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. This time around, the winners of the bout was Ember Moon. Well, actually, no. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, they get the victory at 7 minutes and 42 seconds, as it was Alexa Bliss twisted Bliss on Ember Moon, but then it went from bad to worse for Ember because Bayley hit the ring and hit her with the Bayley to belly. Well, this is kind of to even up the score. If you know, last week, Ember hit Bayley with the Eclipse. So this is kind of, what good for the goose is good for the gander type moment. Anthony Florio, it is all yours. Bliss and Cross wins at 7:42.
2 to 2.5 stars. Not a bad match. As a general rule of thumb, though, I don't really like teaming championship match opponents together, only to have them lose cleanly because they couldn't get along. The problem here, they didn't even really tell that story. Bayley and Ember were not perfect partners, but Bayley did not do anything nefarious or even accidental to lead to Ember taking the fall. As a result, it made Ember Moon look like a weak challenger. It really did. It really did. So, I mean, the match was okay. 2 to 2.5. That's really all I can give it. And Bullock, I mean, you mentioned this during our SmackDown chat. You even said it. You said that they made Ember look like a joke here tonight, if you would.
I actually said that Florida. Well, I actually said that it made both the champion and the challenger look like.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, both women. Yes.
Look like ultimate jokes in this. I mean, to me, I mean, it doesn't make sense to have them lose cleanly, because. But the thing is, I mean, you want to at least give both of them at least some kind of momentum going into their SmackDown Women's title match, and you have them lose to Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. I'm sorry. I mean, this just makes both of them look bad, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, 2.5 is. I mean, the match was good, but you just made both the champion and challenger look bad by having them lose. So, I really got nothing more to say. I mean, Dee Woodson. I mean, the one thing I got a problem here, and I don't know if you'll agree with me on it, and like I just mentioned, having the champion and challenger lose to Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross makes them look bad.
Yeah, it does. And, even having Amber, the one that's taking the pin when she needs the credibility going into SummerSlam, just wasn't really great either. I'm going to give it 2 stars, flat out 2 stars. It was just an okay match. I mean, it's nothing to write home about. It just was not what you really want to have happen, a week or 2 weeks before a major pay-per-view where you have these ladies facing each other. So, yeah, I mean, this was not, what anybody would want to happen, and it definitely looks bad for both of them, especially since, we already know that Bayley can beat Alexa Bliss because she's done it several times. So, yeah, I mean, no, this was not that great. You know, having Bailey kind of stand out at the end, okay, that was all right because, you know, payback for what Amber did, but no, I am not real happy with it, with how this match went down. So, Fletch, go ahead and take it.
Yeah, a little bit disappointing. I'll give it 2 stars. Dee Dee, you make a valid point on everything. There's really nothing more to add to this, so we're just gonna go right along. And guys, get ready. This was one of the highlights of the night. This is the one that a lot of people are going to be talking about. It was the King's Court and the hometown boy Jerry the King Lawler. And who did he have on the court tonight? None other than a legend, an icon in the women's wrestling division, multi-time world champion Trish Stratus came to SmackDown Live. What an honor it is to have Trish Stratus in on the home of the Blue brand for the night. But while she was talking and having some great moments, we had an interruption. Charlotte Flair, the queen herself, showed up. And, well, you know, she basically kind of goaded her, tried to demanded a match one-on-one with her to fight her in Toronto at SummerSlam. Trish, all right, didn't want to jump too quickly on the gun, didn't want to accept. Then all of a sudden, Charlotte dug a little more deeper, try to really go under her and get under her skin. Well, it worked. Charlotte, you got what you wanted, but be careful what you wish for, sweetheart, because you're going up against practically one of the greatest of all time, the GOAT of the women's wrestling revolution and in women's professional wrestling as we know it. Trish Stratus, Charlotte Flair, Toronto, SummerSlam. Michael Bullock, you already know the words I'm about to say. Why don't you say it for me?
Shut up and take my damn money.
It's all yours, bro. It's actually, yeah, it is you. You no?
Yes, it is me.
Yeah, it is you. All right.
And
What
tell
do
you
you
this,
think about the
Fletch.
King's Court?
And I'll tell you this, Fletch. I mean, and I don't know how you feel about it, but I mean, Charlotte Flair is going to get crucified. I mean, because she is going in as an enemy. Because Trish is loved by her home country, her hometown, and Charlotte is going to get crucified big time. I mean, but yeah, I mean, what an honor it is to have Trish Stratus on SmackDown Live, and seeing her and Jerry Lawler in the ring on the King's Court. I mean, it brought back memories of the days when Jerry Lawler was still on commentary, and whenever Trish came out, I mean, he had the smile like a Cheshire cat, and yeah, Flora, we talked about that of how he had so many memories of how he always had his eyes wide open when Trish came out, and I think he had that same look again tonight. But yeah, Charlotte Flair coming out and basically trying to goad her into a match, which that she didn't accept at first. Then, well, she went there and then some. Even, let's just say, even bringing up Trish's kids. Yeah. A little rule when it comes to us here at the Wrestling Forum, Miss Charlotte Flair. You do not, absolutely do not bring up any family members, especially kids, because I mean, it it it, it just rubs me the wrong way. I mean, don't you guys agree on that? I mean, I think that bringing up kids, well, it basically worked because Trish basically said, you know what? It's on right now at SummerSlam. And all I can say is I cannot wait to see this happen in Trish's hometown. Like I said earlier, Charlotte Flair is going into enemy territory and is going to get crucified. And sorry, Queen, nobody in that community is going to feel sorry for you. So, nothing more to say. Dee Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, she went there. She majorly went there. But, Trish brought up a lot of good points at the end of this. We wouldn't have Charlotte Flair. We wouldn't have what we have now for the women's division if it wasn't for the trailblazing division beforehand.
Like Trish, like Lita,
Yeah.
like Jacqueline, like Ivory, all of them Hall of Famers.
All of them that had to take the shit matches, basically. Your pillow fights, your mud fights, the degrading matches that we had to put up with back in the day. If they didn't have to go through all that stuff and go through, the fact that at that time women were just your eye candy. They weren't that important. They weren't something to really give 2 cents about. So Charlotte, she pretty much put her foot in her mouth. Yeah, she brought up Trish's kids, which I don't believe either one of them are in diapers anymore. So that comment kind of was out of left field. I don't know where she got that one from, because I don't think either one is in diapers. Not, at least not from what I've seen, because I follow Trish pretty close. So yeah, no, it was probably not the greatest promo in the world segment, but it was still good, because it still did what we all pretty much knew it was going to happen. Build this match for SummerSlam of Charlotte versus Trish. So you have generation versus generation, and yeah, Charlotte, you gotta beat the woman to be the woman. So, and I have a feeling that Stratisfaction is guaranteed on this. So, not much more I'm going to say about it. Fletch, let's go on.
Well, actually, Dee Dee, I'm actually just looked at the I'm actually looking at Trish's bio via Wikipedia. She had her son in 2013. She had her daughter in 2017. So, I mean, maybe you can get away with it on the grounds with Charlotte about that diaper thing. That might be the only way. Maybe for the daughter, yes. For the son, I don't think so. But still,
she should be about the age where she should either be potty training or already potty trained, because usually by the age of 2, they're potty trained, and she's at that age now. So that's why I say
it kind of also depends on where at what time that the daughter was born, and where in 2017 she was born. So we don't know. We don't know that.
It also depends on mentally how developed she is. Also,
exactly. Yeah. No, you're right.
But still,
it's a low shot. That's a low blow.
It was really kind of uncalled for. It shouldn't have been brought up, especially knowing that especially the boy, like you said, he's definitely out of that stage, and the daughter should be just about out of that stage. So it's just something that shouldn't have been even brought up. Going to go change diapers or whatever. I mean, I can understand my situation because my granddaughter's still a year old. So yeah, I'm still changing diapers on her. But the 3-year-old, no, she's potty trained. I don't have to take care of that problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, if it was younger, I probably would not have said too much more about that particular statement. But seeing as the daughter, she's what, 2.5 now? She should be pretty much done.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. So, I mean, like I said, it is what it is. But look, you wanted something to grab the attention. You wanted something that was going to get the crowd definitely for this fight, and definitely that was it. There was really nothing more to say about it. You knew sooner or later that this was going to be the battle. This was rumored for a while that Charlotte and Trish might happen. I think a lot of us were like, "Oh my God, this could actually happen." This and that, and sure enough, it's gonna happen, and I'm excited. Trish looked great the last time she was in the ring, which was at Evolution. And it's been a while since we've seen Trish in the ring. So obviously she hasn't skipped a beat. She hasn't missed an at it at all. And for her to go up against Charlotte Flair, I mean, this is going to be a very good match. I think it could be, I'm not going to call a sleeper fight of the night, but this could actually be a very good match. So we'll wait and see what happens. Good intensity, pretty good for what it was worth. Nothing more to say. So, Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Segment of the night, hands down. I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, it served its purpose. I mean, the minute that I heard this segment was going to be announced, the minute I heard this segment was going down, I'm like, it has to be. I mean, I messaged you guys, the Dirt Sheet in the Wrestling Forum group Facebook Messenger. You know that. And we knew this was going to happen. And here you go. Fun segment. The impact, however, was a little bit weakened because the match announcement had been spoiled, on Dirt Sheets and social media days prior. It would have been nice to see Trish involved in the King's Court segment without any sort of indication that she was going to be facing Charlotte. Even still, this was effective in getting them where they needed to go. And this is a really intriguing match on paper. A very welcome addition to the SummerSlam card in my book. And I'll say this, and I'll go out, and I'm gonna make a bold prediction here. I told Bullock this, MF and Didi, you're hearing this for the first time. Of the 3 women's matches on this card for SummerSlam, I think this match between the best of the modern generation, Charlotte Flair, and the best of the Attitude Era and Trish, no question about it in my mind. Of the 3 women's matches, I think this is going to be the best of the 3. Not that the other 2 won't be. I mean, the other 2 both have potential, especially Becky and Natty. But this one here, Charlotte and Trish, this has the potential to be something really special. It could become the greatest women's match in the history of SummerSlam. It could. So, nothing more to say. Absolutely perfect segment. Everything went perfectly. Fulfilled the purpose. You set the match. August 11th cannot come fast enough. Let's do this. Charlotte and Trish. Trish's hometown of Toronto. Of course, Trish is going to get the home field advantage here. Charlotte's going to get crucified. Charlotte's going to get crucified. There's absolutely
she will.
There's absolutely nothing more to say except for, in the immortal words of MF and Gorilla Monsoon, a couple things. 1, what a matchup this is going to be. And 2, it's going to be something else. Ain't that right, Monsoon?
You got that right.
And I want to make a quick statement here. I mean, to me, the thing that makes sense when it comes to this match is for Trish to go over, because for her to come back and to lose to Charlotte Flair, to me, would make absolutely no sense.
Well, unless it solidifies Charlotte to possibly something bigger down the line, which could happen, because every big fight up to this point, Charlotte has won, except for WrestleMania. That was the one fight the first ever women's main event at WrestleMania, and Charlotte came up short. But every other mega fight or big match she's ever been involved in, Charlotte has gone on to win. Now, Trish, I think the last time Trish fought was, like you said, in Evolution and won. So we'll see. And
well, that's just my opinion.
Well, we'll wait and see. We'll get there when we get there.
Yeah.
Now, all right. So we got a couple of fights coming up. If you guys want to talk about it, we can. If you don't, we could just move on. First off, Finn Balor versus Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler wins the match in 3 minutes and 54 seconds. No thoughts? Okay. I guess we're moving on. Next fight of the night we had was Ali versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Ali wins the match, 4 minutes and 42 seconds.
I'm not going to talk about the match, but I think the thing, I'm going to make a statement on it. I think because of Ali winning, I think he deserves an opportunity at the Intercontinental title of Shinsuke Nakamura.
Championship committee moment.
Exactly.
Yep. I was waiting for Florio to hear, but yeah, I'll agree with that. Championship committee moment. Yes, I agree. Ali should be next in line for the titles, no doubt about it.
And it should happen at SummerSlam.
I agree. All right, guys. So we'll dive into the main event. This one is one that we're going to all talk about. AJ Styles versus Kofi Kingston. Kofi wins the match at 12 minutes and 55 seconds. Here's the reason why I think it was so epic. AJ Styles trying to go for the phenomenal forearm, gets caught with a tumble in paradise. Oh my God. The commentary would have been absolutely emphatic. We all would have been like, whoa! We probably would have marked at that moment. Didi Woodson, it is all yours. You have the main event. What a finish to that match. Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, this was a great main event. I mean, even, the two tag teams on the outside got involved. I mean, this is everybody. So pretty much you can imagine, all hell breaking loose for this. So, yeah, I mean, this was a very great match. And I'm glad they didn't do it as a DQ finish. I'm glad they kind of kept it somewhat clean. I mean, you still had everybody involved, but I mean, nobody got disqualified. So I'm glad that, it went down that way. And, I think it was, the best solution or best choice to have Kofi win this. I mean, that gives him that momentum going into SummerSlam, going into, this big match with Randy coming up. So, I mean, that's, something that we all, I think, really wants to see is, that momentum to continue at least till we get there. And then, I'm not going to go into my predictions for that yet, but, at least until we get to that point to where, these two face off, because Kofi's going to need as much momentum as he can get heading into this match. And I'm glad that that's what they pretty much did. AJ doesn't need that much momentum. I mean, we all know what he can do. And Kofi's going in basically, even though he's a champion, he's still going in as the underdog because of how this storyline has been set up. And this definitely works well with going into that storyline. So not much more I'm going to say about it. I'm going to give it about 3.5. It was still a very, very good match. I really enjoyed it. So not much more I'm going to say about it. Fletch, it's yours.
This could also be talked about for possible fight of the night. I mean, the first fight in the evening, which was Owens versus McIntyre, definitely could make an argument for fight of the night. But this one also, you can make an argument for fight of the night. And man, what a way to close the show. This was unbelievable. What a way to for at least in ring action. This was absolutely amazing. The match was incredible. It brought the house down. Yes, you had the OCs, you had the New Day out there. There was a great action outside the ring, inside the ring. It just was a great match altogether, and just the ending. That ending, oh my God! I marked out. I absolutely marked. It looked like AJ was gonna go for the phenomenal forearm. In mid-air, he gets caught with a Trouble in Paradise coming downward, and wow, just the connection, that moment. It reminds me of some of the great moments in WWE history. Everybody remembers when Sheldon Benjamin tried to do a flying maneuver, gets caught with a super kick by Shawn Michaels, or when CM Punk trying to do a move off the top rope at WrestleMania, or when Seth Rollins trying to do the curve stomp on Randy Orton at WrestleMania and gets caught with an RKO out of nowhere. That was like one of those epic moments that had everybody yelling, "Oh my God," or going nuts. Like I said, as a commentator, if me, Anthony, and Mike Bullock were doing it, we probably would have lost our minds. Like, I'm already losing my mind right now. It was epic, man. 3.5 to 4 stars is the rating for me. Nothing more to say. Didi was absolutely right. Thank God there was no interference or no cheating at the end. It was a clean victory. So this made everybody look good. Anthony, go ahead. It's yours.
It's not often I do this, but I'm going to have to call co-fight of the night because, I mean, both of those matches were incredible. You know, the Owens and McIntyre match to start it, this one to end it. The only downside for me is I really wanted to see that 6-man tag, especially after what MF and I, you know, that little banter we had last night on Ridiculously Raw, you know, talking about the two power stables and the OC and the New Day. I mean, they announced that it was going to be a 6-man tag, but then Vinnie Mac obviously threw his weight around and had a hissy fit, says, rewrite the damn show. So, yeah, rewrite the whole damn show. And
it worked.
Yes, it worked.
It worked.
Yeah, okay. Even though there is that part of me that really wanted to see that 6-man tag and see who the better power stable is right now. Maybe during SummerSlam week next week, maybe we'll get that match. Maybe we'll get it on Raw in Pittsburgh Monday or next week on SmackDown in Detroit. I don't know. We'll see. But for right now, this was a 3.5 star fight here as well. Very good match. I'm honestly, like I said, I'm not sure what caused them to change the plan from the 6-man to this singles bout, but it wound up being a lot of fun. The finish got a huge pop from the crowd, like MF said, and the last couple of minutes were definitely exciting. The run Kofi has been on is really quite incredible when you stop to think about it, especially that great video package that they did Inside the Mind of the Viper, you know, talking about the Orton and Kofi history from 10 years ago. So, yeah, he's come a long way, man. And like I said, this dream, this Kofi dream, I don't want to wake up from it yet. It's awesome. It's like we're right there with him. So that's all there is really to say on that. 3.5 stars to me. Co-fight of the night. This and Owens and McIntyre, both matches were awesome. I cannot honestly put one over the other. I'm sorry, I can't. So, but that finish though, if maybe because of the finish, maybe we would probably put this one over by a smidge. Probably give it 3 3/4 to 4. But wow, that's all there is to say on that. Michael Bullock, I mean, we didn't get the 6-man, but we got Kofi and AJ one-on-one. We had high hopes for it, and damn it to hell, they delivered, and I'm not surprised at all.
Yes, they certainly delivered on it big time. And to me, I think because of that finish, I'm actually going to do it. I'm going to go 3 3/4 of a star and give it the fight of the night. I mean, the finish was just awesome. But then again, the whole match was awesome. And thank goodness, like you said, there was no interference, no cheating whatsoever. It's something that the fans could basically enjoy We all enjoyed it, so I mean, you guys pretty much touched on everything, so there's really nothing more to say. So, uh, let's just move on to Fletch, and I think it's time for overall review.
Overall review, I gotta say, this was a neck and neck with Monday Night Raw, man. I mean, the first 30 minutes was amazing. The last part of it was amazing. There was a couple of decent moments in the middle. This was a very fluid show for 2 hours. I enjoyed it. Yes, there was even a crazy moment at the end. Roman Reigns was going to come out to make an announcement about his opponent at SummerSlam, and then the scaffolding gave way and almost crushed Roman Reigns. We don't even know who did it. That's the thing. We're gonna find that out next week. We got a who done
we
it.
know who did it. We know who did it, MF. I know
Joe?
who did it. Who else? Who else but Samoa Joe? Come on.
You think it was Joe?
Yeah. Come on, Bullock. Back me up.
I think it was. I mean, look at the hatred between Joe and Reigns.
All right. Well, we'll see. We definitely will see, gentlemen. It's going to be an interesting show next week in Detroit, Rock City, at the brand new Little Caesars Arena. So we'll find out there. As far as the show goes, I could give this 7 out of 10. I know a lot of people say maybe it should be a little higher, but the middle of the show kind of was not so great. But like I said, great opening fight with McIntyre and Kevin Owens. The main event was amazing. The King's Court was solid and good. I liked it. But there was a couple of fights that kind of did leave us a little left to be desired. The Balor versus Dolph Ziggler fight and Ali versus Nakamura left us a little less than to be desired. And even some of the backstage segments was decent enough. We had no 24/7 stuff tonight, which was I guess not a big surprise, but a breath of fresh air. No Shane McMahon, no authority. So it actually helped the show be even better. Mr. McMahon asked the SmackDown writers to rewrite the entire show from scratch. And for what they did under that amount of time, well done. Good show, solid show. That's what SmackDown Live is all about. Good job. I thought this was a good show. 7 out of 10. I'm going to give Raw the slight advantage because I thought they were a little better, but not by much. But slight victory to Monday Night Raw. But SmackDown Live was right there. They were nipping at the heels of Raw. But it kind of was. If we could have gotten the middle a little more shored up, I think SmackDown would have beaten Raw this week. I really thought SmackDown could beat Raw this week. You told us give us the best shot. Boy, did we give you our best shot. I just think Raw just had enough capital because of last night. I think they had enough just to get by and beat SmackDown Live. But this was a very good show. 2 good shows this week. WWE, you had yourself a good week. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Well, I'll tell you, MF, I think it was because of the fact both of these shows did not really have Vinnie Mac's fingerprints on this. I think last night's show had Heyman's fingerprints on it, although the beginning of Raw definitely was McMahon style, without a doubt. But I think after that 24/7 silliness last night, I think the rest of that was all Heyman. And I think tonight was the product of one Mr. Eric Bischoff. That's all I can say on that. So I'm right there with you. I honestly don't know which show was better. I mean, both of them were equally great. So I'm going to give it the same rating. I'm going to give it about 7.5, just like I gave Raw last night. Strong wrestling tonight. You know, we all enjoyed the opener, as well as Kofi and AJ's bout. Overall, the positives outweighed the negatives, despite it, most of it not being overly newsworthy. The Roman segment was a weird and awkward downer, but the King's Court proved to be entertaining and locked in an intriguing matchup for SummerSlam. We got some new direction for Aleister Black, despite them teasing the contrary. And all in all, this was a fine way to spend a couple of hours on a Tuesday night. Absolutely. And I think, what you saw with Aleister Black, and what we saw in the back with Sami Zayn, I think they're teasing a Sami Zayn and Aleister Black bout for SummerSlam. And if that's the case, we're looking at a battle of two former NXT champions. So that could be very interesting. Even though Sami Zayn, as we like to playfully refer to him as Mr. Lame Duck Man, but we'll have to wait and see. Hope if Lame Duck Man can actually bring the effort, that could end up being a sleeper fight right there. So that's all there is to say on that. 7.5. Detroit, Rock City, Little Caesars Arena, Pizza, what have you. And, of course, Raw, Monday in Pittsburgh at the PBG Paints Arena, Corey Graves' country. Corey's going to get a hometown reception. So that's all there is to say on that. So let's get to SummerSlam week, folks. I'm ready. So 7.5. Bullock, we had a fun couple of hours on this Tuesday night tonight.
Oh, we certainly did. 7 to 7.5. I mean, both shows I thought did good this week. It was definitely a good week for WWE. So, there's nothing more to say. Dee, Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I'll agree. 7.5. We had a very interesting Funhouse video where Bray pretty much kind of let his puppets do his talking this week, and then followed that just a little bit further down the card. I think there's only one thing in between the two. You had the match with Finn Balor, so it was still Bray came out during the match, distraction. That's why nobody really wanted to talk about it. It wasn't the best thing in the world going out there. Although the match I thought was very entertaining up till they just started playing with the lights and all this stuff, trying to get that going. But the show itself, I could say it was pretty much pretty even with Raw. There was some low points there in the middle, but then of course Raw had their low points yesterday as well. But still, in the end, we had a bookend for SmackDown. You had two very awesome matches to start and end the show with, and then a little wee bit of excitement there at the end, trying to figure out who knocked the scaffolding down on Roman, which I do agree with the guys. Who has the most heat with Roman? It's Joe. So pretty much, I would say probably Joe was responsible for it. But then again, you never know what's going to happen. Yeah, Vinnie Mac did about 4:00 Eastern time tell the guys that he wanted the show rewritten, and they didn't have very long. They did a great job rewriting it, and I'm surprised, Vinny didn't try to write it himself, but I'm glad he didn't, because we actually had a half-decent SmackDown without having him actually completely involved, and not having any more of Shane McMahon except for that little bit at the beginning. So I'm happy with it. I'll agree with the rating that you all gave, and until the next show, I will see you guys later.
Hold on, Dee Dee. Just don't leave just yet, because I want you to hear this just momentarily. Yes, the show is over, but here's the heads up. Next week is SummerSlam week. That's right. We started off on Monday night at 11 p.m. Eastern with Anthony Floyo's show, Ridiculously Raw. Then Tuesday night, 10:30 Eastern, is the Cerebral Smack Talk. Friday night at 10:30 Eastern is a special edition of the Wrestling Forum, the NXT TakeOver Toronto and SummerSlam preview special. That's going to go down on Friday. And then, of course, Sunday night after SummerSlam goes off the air, come back, Brace Fan 95. We do the recap. That's our SummerSlam week. Guys, Get ready. We're going to have a lot of fun. All right, guys, that's it. We're done. For Anthony Florio, for D.D. Woodson, for Michael Bullock, I'm Michael Fletcher. Have a good night, everybody. So long for now. Like the video. Leave a comment at the bottom. Share with all your friends on all social media platforms. We'll see you guys on Monday once again for another edition of Ridiculously Raw. Until then, so long for now. Bye.